Hello. Okay. Selamat petang dan selamat datang semua ke program kesedaran kanser payudara yang dianjurkan oleh pelajar kumpulan ahli kumpulan 2, pelajar UUM PJJ Kuching. Jadi hari ini kita akan mengadakan program melalui Zoom meeting ini bersama dengan Puan Cecilia Siti Una. Tanpa melengahkan masa, saya menjemput Madam Cecilia Una untuk menyampaikan penerangan berkaitan dengan kanser payudara. Dipersilakan.
Selamat petang dan selamat sejahtera dari saya. Saya Puan Cecilia Siti Una, pengerusi kesedaran kesihatan wanita dan keluarga. I'm a pensioner, a retired nurse. I've been working with the Kementerian Kesihatan for 34, almost 35 years. And after my retirement, I concentrate on social works as well as how to bring kesihatan into the interior. I'm also being graduated as a global the educator for Know Your Lemon. To start with, I would like to tell you that I would like to give thanks for this privilege that I'm able to share with you about this program, Kesedaran Kanser Payudara, and our topic is how to pencegahan adalah penyelesaian. Maknanya early detection of cancer will be able to heal, will give you chance that you can live your life normally. So what is cancer like? What is cancer? Cancer is the cells in your body that it don't grow and die as they normally do. Sel dalam badan kita yang tidak grow as normal and tidak die as normal, just like your dead cell. That's how cancer is. Cancer is a broad term. Besar itu cancer. Jadi saya tidak dapat menerangkan di sini lah, okay? Dan kanser payudara adalah berisiko tinggi kepada wanita. Ada wanita dalam kalangan wanita yang menghadapi kanser payudara, ada 1 in 19. There are types of factors that give risk to this cancer. Ada yang jenis yang kita dapat kawal dan ada jenis yang kita tidak dapat kawal. Yang kita dapat kawal ialah yang kita tidak boleh dikawal ialah umur. Umur maknanya umur meaning that lebih usia, the older you are, the more risk that you can get cancer payudara. And genetic means genes in you, that is through your family history, that which will be 1 in 15. Dan datang haid awal meaning that you get puberty awal, you get your menstruation even before 12 years old, that will be a risk too. And when you get menopause, that means you habis haid dalam umur lingkungan 50-an. Maknanya pun awal, this is the risk for cancer, breast cancer. Cancer yang kita boleh kawal, okay? This is how you can control, how you can less risk of breast cancer. When you deliver a baby, put your baby to your breast. A mother that gives breastfeeding will be less risk for breast cancer. A woman with alcohol, stop your alcohol, okay? Because alcohol and smoking will lead to cancer too. It's at the risk of cancer. This is my warning to ladies. Please stop this alcohol and smoking, so you will be at a low risk of cancer payudara. Tetapi ingat, cancer ini adalah 1 in 19 still, okay? And then another term that you can use is in health. It is always exercising and diet, okay? Exercising doesn't mean that you have to go for a vigorous exercise. You may go just a brisk walk or do your gardening or simple exercise. The women should do regular exercise 5 days a week and 30 minutes at one time. That will be good enough, okay? And then for the rest of the thing, I think for the risk of cancer payudara is there are pencegahan awal, okay? That is the main issue that I want to speak here today. Then cancer payudara, there are many types of cancer payudara actually, but here I want to name to you the 5 jenis, the 5 types of cancer payudara. That is carcinoma in situ. Carcinoma in situ is bengkak kepada bahagian payudara kita that is not mobile, not mobile. And then another one is the duct is the duct of your milk duct where the cancer cells is, but it is also not merebak ke lain. That is called ductal carcinoma in situ, DCIS. That is about the duct one. But then another one is the loops, is the lobule in your breast. When you want to know about these lobules and duct and all this, you have to go vigorously to the anatomy of breast, formation of breast. But here we cannot go further. So I want to tell you about the lobule cancer in situ, meaning that it's in the loops, but it is just in place. It's not invasive. So another one is the ductal meaning that carcinoma invasive. That means that it is in the duct of the milk duct, but it goes elsewhere again, spread elsewhere. That is called invasive ductal carcinoma. Another one is the lobule just now. It is the infiltrating, meaning that the loops will go to another loops. It is called the lobular carcinoma, ILC, infiltrating lobule carcinoma. Carcinoma means cancer. We call it in medical term, we just mentioned it as a CA. Okay. That is the jenis cancer payudara. So after that, then after the jenis cancer payudara, then you may come again to this. What is the pengesanan cancer? Pengesanan cancer payudara, tanda-tanda cancer payudara, or the sign and symptom of cancer payudara. The sign and symptom of cancer payudara, as I've mentioned, is the bengkak di bahagian breast, bengkak di payudara atau kulit yang berkedut, just like limau, sebagai kulit limau. That is why when I joined this cancer study, we always compare breast anatomy to an orange or lemon. That's where I come with this foundation of Know Your Lemon. So it is something like the puting masuk ke dalam sikit, maknanya the puting gets sunken and being pulled by the cancer cell, it goes inverted or it goes inside. Dan the kemerah-merahan dalam kulit itu, kemerah-merahan atau cropping, that means the crust, that is the kulit of your payudara. Ada in your nipple, you may see the nipple will be berkeruping, the nipple, or it can be it may be redness at the nipple. Then you may get the discharge from the nipple also. It can be yellowish or it can be a blood discharge, but not to mean that when you are breastfeeding, your milk is not the sign and symptom, but it's something different. It is a discharge or it is a blood discharge, okay? And then ketulan pada bahagian ketiak. Ketulan pada bahagian ketiak, meaning that there is a lump which is not mobile. The lump is stagnant there, it is immovable, then that you can consider is one of the signs of cancer breast, okay? So with that, then bagaimana kita mengesahkan kanser payudara di kesan, how we know to find out that we have cancer payudara. best is your self-examination, and breast self-examination will have a long story to tell. I will tell this in detail if you come to me how to do breast self-examination. So you must know your normal self, then you can detect what is not normal in yourself, especially your breast. Okay, so pemeriksaan sendiri payudara secara berkala mula dari umur 20 tahun, mula dari umur as long as you are having your puberty, umur 18 to 20, or even can be earlier than that, okay? And then the second way to kesan your payudara, cancer payudara, is by mammogram. Mammogram is one type of X-ray that is being used to check both of your breasts. It's done by the X-ray, X-ray and read by the radiologist. Another one is through the tissue that you have to get from your breast, that is by inserting the needle to get the tissue and check for biopsy. Yeah? Okay, what is mammogram? Huh? Mammogram adalah pemeriksaan sampingan. Mammogram adalah pemeriksaan breast cancer yang where we have to do the X-ray payudara untuk wanita berumur 40 tahun ke atas. Jadi peringkat ini adalah peringkat umur ialah berisiko tinggi. Yang berisiko tinggi dan direkomend oleh doktor. Okay, mammogram. Mammogram adalah, ingat, mammogram adalah satu dari pemeriksa payudara itu tadi by X-ray. So pengesan awal kanser payudara adalah melalui your breast self examination. Ya, dari umur dari kita yang sudah datang haid, you have to do your breast self examination on the 7th day of your menstruation. After your menstruation, you count from first, second, maybe usually it's 5 days. So the 7th day is the best time that you do your breast examination. Dan wanita yang berusia 20 tahun ke atas perlu melakukan pemeriksaan sendiri payudara setiap bulan. Or I should say it's a breast self-examination every month. For women that are having this menstruation, I would like you to mark in your calendar the 7th day. Then if you have a regular menses, then it will be all right. So on the 7th day, you can have it. For more veteran women like me, an elder one, I usually mark mine on my birthday because my birthday is 15th of January. So you all remember, huh? So every 15th of the month, I will do my breast self-examination. Stand in front of the mirror, see what is not normal with yourself. Then you know what is, you must know your normal self first before you can know what is not normal. Dan through your breast self-examination, then you can mengesan kanser payudara dari peringkat awal. Dan rawatan lebih berkesan. That is why early detection will save life. So here we are talking about early detection. So now again to this mammogram. Pemeriksaan X-ray payudara adalah called mammogram. This is untuk women, the elder one, above 40. If in European countries, they started early and it's free. But here we have to pay for it unless you go through the promotion, through the through this clinic, Nosajatra. You know, in each of the division, they will have this LLPKN. So you can go to that clinic, or there are private hospital that will give promotion for that. But that is for the women above 40 only. They do it this annually, 1 tahun 1 kali. It will be done by the Juru X-ray. So if they come and ask the doctor or whatever to do your mammogram, you said, no, I want a wanita Juru X-ray. And it takes around about 15 minutes on one side, 15 minutes on the other side, and maybe 30 minutes, okay? So so that is all about the how to mengesan kanser payudara. So now we come to treatment. Treatment, it all depends what stage of cancer you are. Wanita yang dah dikesan kanser payudara diberi rawatan selepas dibuat penilaian yang lengkap oleh doktor. Okay. The doctor will not carry on the treatment unless they are fully determined by a pakar, specialist. You cannot say this MO will say that, oh, you have cancer. No, you must have to go through a proper cancer specialist or the surgeon. Then there are many ways of treatment. Plan rawatan bergantung kepada what stage is your cancer, what type is your cancer, whether your cancer already spread invasively or it is just in situ. That's what we call just now, just in situ. And it is also whether it is already spread to other part of your body. Dan antara rawatan yang tertaluk kepada jenis peringkat kanser, that is what stage of cancer that you have. It may need surgery, or it must need a chemotherapy, or chemotherapy is by drip, your chemotherapy drugs, or is it just by a radiotherapy? Radiotherapy is just a pancaran to make the cancer cell mengecut, or it can be by just merely by giving you hormone. That is the jenis-jenis rawatan yang ada. Okay, dan the ujian untuk ujian yang disediakan untuk mengesahkan kanser payudara usually is the blood test, is the aspiration of with the fine needle, that fine needle aspiration ways where we get the serum, or it can be cold needle that will be inserted to get for biopsy. Or it can be done by an ultrasound where you have to go for the MRI, then they will check the whole body, goes there to the ultrasound, and this have to be read by the radiologist only. Or it can be just a mammogram, that is the ujian, the test that you have to go through when you have the procedure that you need to go through when you have cancer of the breast. But no worry, this cancer, untuk mencegah cancer, you have to know and examine it first. Because especially in my ethnic group, especially where I'm going through all after my retirement, I used to go to the interior part of Sarawak, especially in the longhouses. It is a taboo to share about cancer, but let that taboo go, no stigma. Go and tell people, tell your friend, or tell the healthcares, tell the doctor, or any NGO that you know that you are worried about your breast. There's something not normal in your breast. So related, there's a patient that I come across until the husband also doesn't know that the lady is having a cancer of the breast, because she has been hiding it. This to get your early detection, so you can have early treatment. Do not hide. Take your courage and share. I think that is all from me, and I'm from Kesadaran Kesihatan Wanita dan Keluarga. So if you have anything that you are worried about this cancer payudara, can come to me. My email is ceciliauna@gmail.com, and my phone number is 016-868-7141. I'm always open for discussion. I'm always here to help all of you. Thank you. Okay, question and answers. So
Terima
now,
kasih diucapkan kepada Madam Cecilia di atas penerangan yang cukup jelas berkaitan dengan saya buka ruang semua untuk bertanyakan soalan berkaitan dengan kanser payudara. Dipersilakan.
Yeah, please, any question?
Selamat petang, Madam.
Selamat petang. Siapa tu?
Saya Fatin.
Ya, okay,
Saya ingin
Fatin.
bertanyakan soalan kepada Madam. Boleh saya tahu lingkungan umur yang berisiko untuk mendapat kanser payudara ni?
Okay. Okay, come to your question. What is the age? Specific age, okay? Kanser payudara, kalau dalam masa saya, in my experience, there is no specific age. Tetapi ia lebih berisiko adalah orang yang sudah habis haid, yang usia yang meningkat. Tetapi ingat, dalam 1 in 19 women are prone to get cancer payudara. So there is no limit, no had umur for cancer payudara. Only berisiko tinggi adalah risiko yang saya tetapkan, saya akan bentangkan tadi adalah usia, gene, dan juga anything which is risiko tinggi tadilah, macam minum alkohol or this lah, okay, and obesity also. So umur tak ada had, because Malaysia actually, why in Malaysia? Because kita lambat mencegah, see, lambat mengesan, so tak dapat dicegah. That's why early detection will be the answer, the solution to all these problems. So here we are, mencegah awal, dan you have to dikesan awal, baru dapat dicegah. Okay, no had umur, Fatin. Thank you for your question.
Okay, thank you, Madam. And one more question, Madam. Berkaitan dengan penjagaan, boleh Madam terangkan penjagaan yang perlu kita lakukan untuk elakkan daripada kita kena kanser payudara ni? Okay, Madam.
Pencegahan. Okay.
Penjagaan diri dan pencegahan. Penjagaan
diri. Okay. Penjagaan diri, mainly one, I name is exercise. Okay. You have to do your regular exercise. Like me, I will do my household, gardening, planting flowers. My daily job is enough. You don't have to go vigorously, go to gym, all this, but you do a regular exercise, 30 minutes at one time, and 5 days a week will be enough. So obesity, meaning that you have to keep on the right track of your diet. Less fat, less oil, more vegetables and fruits. So that is penjagaan. Second, you have to examine your breast regularly. That is every month. Okay, that is the way how to kita mencegah kanser payudara. Penjagaan kita. Okay, itu. Does that answer your question, Fatin? Thank you very much.
Yes, Madam. Thank you.
Ada lagi soalan, kita buka kepada yang lain pula.
Selamat petang, Madam.
Ya, selamat petang. Siapa tu?
Saya Karitik Resa dan Laki Marapan. Madam, saya nak tanya, bolehkah lelaki kena kanser payudara?
Okay, this question is very interesting. Men, orang lelaki pun no difference. Men pun dapat kena kanser payudara. Okay, but it is very rare. Tetapi boleh. Okay, maknanya lelaki, kaum Adam ni pun mesti periksa payudara sendiri juga. Okay, tak dapat dielakkan. Okay, does that answer to your question, gentlemen? Okay, lelaki but very rare. Okay, but tidak ada no excuse for that. Okay, there is.
Ada lagi?
Hello, hai, selamat petang, Madam. Oh, nampaknya kita ada soalan dari kita punya chat. Boleh kita baca dulu dari kita punya chat? Deb, kita baca untuk Madam.
Boleh bacakan?
Okay.
Madam dia tanya, hi madam, whether uses of breast enlargement creams can lead to breast cancer, madam?
So far, no, but put on the silicone, please not. Okay, breast cream to enhancement for enlargement of breast, I don't encourage. But so far it doesn't. I do not know, but it can be. But I cannot say 100% it will cause cancer. Okay. But please do not use that. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much for that question.
Yeah, thank
But
you. Siapa yang-
lotion, all this, no, it will not.
Okay, madam. From me, I'm Kipti. My question is, pasal tentang rawatan, adakah kita boleh pergi mana-mana hospital atau klinik untuk mendapatkan rawatan awal sama ada kita baru sedar yang kita ada masalah sesuatu dengan kita punya payudara dan kepada siapa kita harus rujuk yang pertama? Adakah kita dapat pergi ke hospital biasa?
Okay, thank you, Maria. Yeah, that's a good question. Sebab apa saya memberitahu here, we have to detect early detection for the sign and symptom of cancer. Adalah sebab infrastructure in Sarawak. The thing because it's late. But now, like us in Kuching here, we always come to your clinic first. Go to your clinic. The clinic will write a referral letter to the specialist for breast cancer, or you have to go through a medical officer before you go to the specialist. You can come to any clinic which is nearby to your place. It doesn't matter where it is, but talk to them. Tell them something not normal with you. Could it be just a scratch or just a place that you can see the redness in your breast? Just share with them. Nothing. Jangan malu ya. Boleh bagi tahu dengan jururawat atau siapa-siapa orang yang berdekatan di klinik kesihatan berdekatan dengan anda, dengan tempat anda. Okay, thank you.
Ada dua lagi soalan dekat sini ya, madam. Ada orang yang bertanyakan, adakah makanan tertentu dapat menyebabkan kanser payudara? Ini
Excuse me ya. Okay, makanan tertentu. Okay, makanan which I said just now is alcohol, avoid. Again, I talk about smoking. And then makanan tertentu is fats. Fats you should avoid because fatty acid will increase to cancer. So meaning that those will be one of the risiko for cancer. Okay, itulah makanan. Then you take something which is less fat. That's all.
Okay, satu lagi soalan daripada kita punya ni ya. Ditanya, adakah orang memakai bra yang ketat dan berdawai tingkatkan risiko seseorang tu kena payudara, kanser payudara?
No, that is definitely no. No, you can use the underwire brassiere or whatever type of brassiere you use, but that will not be the cause of cancer. The cause of cancer is just namely just now, but it's difficult for you to say. It's just the normal cell that doesn't die at that time when they should die. It's the normal cell that doesn't go elsewhere, that it doesn't stop. You see, that is what we call as cancer. Remember that. Okay.
Okay. So one more last question, madam, sebelum kita tamatkan program kita untuk petang ni. Ni Syawa Muhammad dia tanya, sekarang terlalu banyak produk untuk pembesaran payudara. Adakah akan ada efek untuk menggunakan produk-produk tersebut?
Produk di pasar, setiap pemasaran akan mencoba how to get their sales, sales people. But I cannot say you don't use this because everyone want to have good sales. But if for me, I advise better avoid all this type of thing, enhancing the growth of your breast, enlargement of your breast. I do not encourage. Okay, that's because the problem is that tumor or a lump in your breast, it just it kills the normal cells. The normal cells. That is why that is what is the problem of cancer. Cancer is a problem. A tumor is a lump in the cancer cell. It kills the normal cells, then it causing the damage of the normal cells. So if that cream or whatever it is, if it kills the normal cells, then that is the cause of cancer. So why we must give way to this type of thing that I'm not 100% sure that will kill, but I presume it may kill the normal cells.
Mungkin ada yang lain yang ingin bertanyakan soalan ataupun mungkin Madam Cecilia ada nak berkongsikan lagi?
Saya ada soalan lagi, Madam. Tadi you cakap you tak recommend pasal silikon, right? Tapi mostly kita tengok macam artis luar negara, diorang banyak pakai silikon. So, apa keburukan pakai silikon sebenarnya?
That's what, itulah saya cakap tadi. Kita jangan jangan damage, jangan memberi kerosakan kepada normal cell. Dia buat silikon itu untuk for beauty or whatever it is that is beyond our control. Okay. Kalaulah dapat, saya sebagai untuk mencegah itu cancer, I advise avoid all this type of things. Di luar banyak pemasaran untuk produk-produk for beauty products and all this, but I do not encourage that. But I cannot say so because some people they make their business, okay, their business. So what I mean is that do not kill your normal cells, because that may develop the cells to die normally. So cancer prop up. Cancer cells everywhere there is, but you just let it develop and it will die at your own naturally. But when you put something not normal, it's not normal. So why should you cause the problem to your own normal cells? So that is my answer. Kip.
Okay, thank you, Madam.
Madam, I have one question. My name is Hamidatun. Okay, actually, I want to know how, let's say, a lady ever have a problem, have a cyst problem, and then they already take it out. Is that a chances for this lady to have cancer? Is there the risk for this lady to get cancer?
Okay, that's a very good question. When you have a tumor or whatever, it's being removed already, but you have to follow.
Remove.
Okay, but you have to follow the whole procedure, which is being stated by the specialist, whether you can go for 6 courses of chemotherapy after it's being removed, or you have to take hormone after that, and then a regular review. But to get it grow again, then develop another time, if you have a regular treatment, I think could be, but a small chance. Okay. Because this growth, you cannot say once it is removed, another one will not be coming up again. But regular and then full treatment is my advice.
That's mean the possibility the cyst coming back is there lah.
It's there, but not maybe, I say, but have to get the full treatment, then it will be less likely.
Okay, how about if, let's say, the procedure removing the cyst is already done, and yet there is no follow-up to the doctor, and then the doctor also did not have make any appointment to see this patient. So what does this patient have to do?
Usually a patient, after they're having the treatment, being treated in the hospital, like in Kuching here, we only have one RTU, one cancer clinic only. That is why I am here for, because I would like more cancer units to be developed in other state, in other division, like Miri, Bintulu, Sri Aman, Sibu. But here in Kuching, they all come to Kuching, where we have the pink clinic, they call it, for the breast cancer clinic, which is being referred from the rest of the hospital. After their discharge, they will have a proper follow-up. When you are discharged, the doctor will tell you the proper follow-up. There is no such way that a patient will go off discharge and no follow-up. No, they have to do follow-up until there is no malignant cell, meaning that no cancer cell detected.
Thank you, Madam.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for your question anyway, Hamidaton.
Okey. Ada lagi ke yang nak bertanyakan soalan? Mungkin kita akan endkan ke?
No,
Oh, you have anything to share?
I have one thing to share.
Yeah.
I would like to hold one breast self-examination class for all of you because I find it's very important that you have to know how to examine your own breast. Okay, would that be all right?
Boleh.
Boleh, no problem.
Thank you.
Okey, terus apa ni? Jadi jika tiada apa-apa lagi pertanyaan, saya akhiri dengan jutaan terima kasih kepada Madam Cecilia, speaker jemputan kami pada petang ini, di mana dia telah sedikit sebanyak telah memberikan ilmu pengetahuan kepada kita terhadap apa pentingnya kesedaran terhadap kanser payudara ini. Terima kasih juga kepada yang datang dan join kami untuk petang ini. Kalau ada apa-apa, boleh email kepada Puan Cecilia. Lepas tu kita boleh buat panggilan personal call to her. I think it won't be a problem. Dia ada banyak masa untuk layan orang berkenaan dengan breast cancer ni. She will always open her house also for people to ask. Dan kalau ada apa-apa boleh call dia lah, ni number dia. Okay. Thank you everyone. Thank you semua.
Thank you very much.
Boleh open video kah semua? Kita ambil gambar sekejap.
Thank you very much for listening.
Ambil gambar sekejap, Deb.
Boleh.
Ada yang on video kah, Deb?
Ada.
Ambil gambar, Deb.
Apa ambil? Koko ambil? Koko.
Ya.
Silan.
Thank you semua. Thank you so much.
Thank you semua yang datang hari ni.
Joining us.
Thank you.
Madam Cecilia, thank you so much. Nanti I send food basket dekat rumah you, okay?
Alright, thank you. Basket for me, kah? Or for somebody else?
For you.
Okay, thank you everyone.
Okay, thank you.
Alright,
semua.
thank you.
Thank you Kak Tan. Bye bye.
Okay, thank you. Bye, Kate. Okay, bye.
Thank you, Captain.